Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we are reviewing this car right here. This is the Nissan Maxima SV. So this is how it looks like in the outside. So nothing unusual on the outside. It has these lights over here and it has the sensors in there. So when you change lanes, it'll beep, beep, beep. I don't think that's a big deal, and I wouldn't overly rely on it. So let's open it up. When you open it up, these are options right here. I'm not going to talk about these because they're options. So everything else is fairly conventional about this car. Okay, so now I am inside the car. And the door closes like that. Fairly nice. Opens kind of heavy, but all new cars are kind of heavy when you open the doors. So inside you have just the regular stuff that you would find in any car. Let's look at the owner's manual. I hope it's in here. Here we go. You get a very thick one. Again, I do not own this car. They just let me test it out for reviewing purposes. So here we go, Maxima. It's a very thick one if you want to read the whole thing. And this particular version has a Nissan Connect. Okay, I'm going to put that back in there. I'm not going to worry about it. If we look at the top right here, I've seen this before, and I do not like these this LED lights because they don't light up the area like the conventional lights like the older cars do. They just light up a spotlight like that. I know you can't see it right now. And then we have this that lights up both. This chooses whether you want to open it with the door or not. So that way it turns on with the door. And then it turns off with the doors that close. Okay, as far as the steering wheel, this steering wheel, I've seen it before on other Nissans. It has this flat bottom. I don't know why. Maybe it's just style. It doesn't really make the driving any better or any easier. I would rather it be a round wheel than this cut off. It's trying to pretend it's a race car or maybe a airplane. I don't know. So let's move to the, well, it has the center console right here. Nothing unusual here. You have the sports version if you want to change how the transmission reacts. And then you have this heating stuff, which I never use. And then we have some more stuff right here, which I'll talk about later. It has some storage, I believe, here. And then some USB connections. 1, 2, and auxiliary aux cable. And going back to the top, there's that little slit right there. That's actually a light. So in the night, when you're driving, that'll light up this area right here. What else do we have? Let's move to the Unfortunately, this car does not have a manual adjustments. You have to use the battery operated ones. Like that. So it's kind of slow to make the adjustments. You can hear the sound. Now let's look at the, I'm 5'9", so I do need a little bit of extra space. And when you look at that, you really have to go back all the way just to be able to open it like that. And you have a reasonable amount of space in here. So other than that, it feels normal on this side of the car. The adjustment has a forward and back, but no up and down. So let's go to the back of the vehicle. I like those seats, those leather type seats. Very simple design. I like it. Has these bags over here. Has this vents that probably don't work very well. We're gonna test them later. And then if you look around, has a child safety feature. This goes down like that, so you can put a phone there if you want, and some cups. What else do we have back here? This is adjustable somehow. Same thing here. And there are two lights over here. One there, and they're independent. Okay, so that's the back. So now let's go look at the trunk. And here's my luggage right here. And there's a lot of room here. I don't think you would need this much room, but there's definitely a lot of room back here. Way much more room than you actually need. And there's a safety feature right here if you need to get out. Okay, so now let's turn it on. This particular car has that type of key that there's no actual key. You just you have to have this close, and then you go, and then you press that. And it says push brake and start switch to drive. So you have to push the brake. I wasn't doing that. You have to push the brake and then start. So let's close the window. So let's first look at the AC. The AC, let's lower the volume there. It's all automatic. So you have to take your you have to take your eyes off the road to be able to make adjustments here, unlike a normal car. And also it has everything else is just regular features. It has a CD over here. It has a menu where you can connect to a phone. You have your maps over here, your navigation. And what else do you have? Connections, if you want to connect this to your phone and listen to music from your phone. And so forth. Nothing special here. Nothing special at all. Where am I? So if you get lost, it'll tell you. We're about to find out. We're near the Gulf of Mexico, right there. Okay, so there's nothing else to see there. I don't think you can control the AC from here. You cannot. But you don't really need to. Although I do know that there are some cars that allow you to control the AC from here and from the controls down here as well. At the front, we have the regular information, revolution, speed in both miles and kilometers, and there's the power information. I don't know why you would want to know that. And this car does tell you the speed limit. I'm not going to show it in action, but it tells you the speed limit. So that's very good to know, because I do drive in roads that don't have signs, and I can never know. The only way you're going to know if you went over the speed limit is when you get pulled over by police. So let's increase the fan. The fan does have a lag when you change the settings. So that's the minimum position right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. And it also has the defrost right here, back and front. like most other vehicles. And here you can change the inlet or recycle, like most other vehicles. Nothing unusual there. And here is the to control the map, you can use this right here. You use this right here. The menu. If you go to map, you can rotate the map. That's pretty cool. So this allows you to do that. You can turn sports if you want to, speed up a lot. You can turn off the what's this called, the anti-skid, and you can see it over there where it turns on and off. I'm gonna leave it on. On. So this is something you have to learn to do. I'm not going to learn how to do this because I don't think it's that important. It has a map voice. Doesn't do anything. At least not that I'm aware of. And then this is if you want to heat but we're in summer, so we're not going to heat anything. I'm going to leave that alone. And here we have some more storage over here. And we have a plug there if you want to plug something in. It has a light. Can't see it, but... And then there's that extra storage here. It's all dirty already. See, that's what happens when you get something just to review. It's not perfect. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about is this camera right here. If you press it, it'll tell you if you're about to veer off track. So let's take a look at it. And that's actually, this doesn't show you the whole camera, but it shows you part of the camera. So let's test the backup camera anyway. When you drive this car, press it on drive. It lets you know that the seat belt is not on. So now let's look at the backup. When you back up, if you spin the wheel that way, the lines move that way. And when you spin the wheel the other way, the lines move the other way. So those are the predictive lines that we saw in the camera. So now let's back up and see what happens. Okay, as you could hear, it's telling you that I'm about to slam into the wall. So that's nice to have. Okay, so one thing that I did forget to mention is this right here, this selector knob thing. I don't like it because it has the, it's kind of like a trigger right there. But I normally grab it like that, so that means I have to use my finger or these two fingers to move it like that. I like the ones that are sideways from here better. But it's nice and soft, by the way. I've driven cars that this thing is so... You gotta be like the Incredible Hulk just to move this back and forth. But this is nice and soft. And it also has, if you move it to the side, it has that... manual racing kind of thing. Okay, let's turn off the engine. To turn off the engine, you just have to press right here. And if you forget to close the windows, even with the engine off, you can still close the windows. And by the way, both windows are automatic, like that. Up. See? And then the other one, same thing. At least from the driver's side. Let's see, from the passenger side, they're automatic. It is. And up. So that's interesting. It's not a big deal, but it is interesting. It has light on the rear view. Well, that's not a rear view mirror. That's just like a cosmetic mirror. So when you close the door, it locks like this. But if you want to unlock, it doesn't have that keyhole. Not that I can tell. So you have to just press right here, and that unlocks it. That's locked. And that's unlocked. That's locked. So let's lock it, and let's make sure that it is locked. Okay. Okay, folks, so here's one thing I don't like about this system right here, where the key, you don't actually put the key in there, you just have to push that button, is that let's pretend I forgot the keys. Let's pretend I forgot the keys out here. So there are the keys right there. And I dropped them accidentally, okay? I accidentally dropped the keys. I didn't hear it because I'm hard of hearing. I closed the door. And let's see if I can drive away. Oh, no key detected. So if I try to drive away, pretty cool. Because I have had other cars where you can leave the key away, and you can still start the car and drive off with it without the key. So let's pretend I left the keys on top of the car. Let's see what happens. Let's leave the keys right there. And now let's drive away. Key ID incorrect. Okay, let's go back out. Okay, so let's say we have the keys in here. Now let's try to drive away. Cool. So what happens if if something goes wrong with my mind and then I just put the keys outside? What will happen? No key detected. But can I actually drive away? Yes, you can drive away. Alright. So they definitely made an improvement over the previous versions of this type of car. Okay, so the next test I want to do is I'm going to try to turn on the ignition without actually turning on the engine. So how do we do that? We only have one button. So what we do is press this button right here. Everything turns on. And then you press it again. And that's how you turn on the ignition. Okay. That's how you turn off the ignition, by pressing it again. So now the next test I want to do is see what would happen if I left the keys indoors, inside the car. So I'm going to leave the keys in here. I'm going to lock the car. Oh, listen to that. It told me something. There was a beep. So let's pretend that the window is closed, so we can't reach it. It lets me open it. So that's a good thing. So they convinced me that this is a good idea, better than regular keys, because I've had left the keys inside a car when I'm locked out, and that's a bad thing.